You found it. Your home for the best content on your favorite team, the Fighting Tigers of LSU. Do us a favor. Subscribe to the channel. Leave your comments below. And be sure to smash that like button. I understand that anybody listening to me discuss anything related to Alabama will very likely not consider me as having a shred of objectivity. And I understand that. I have spent a year laughing at them, Flames, O Fortuna. I wore a smoking jacket and lit a cigar in studio. I wore a Grim Reaper costume. I had shirts printed with the score of the Vanderbilt game. Okay? I get it. If you don't believe what I say or take what I say as objective, okay, that's I totally get that. I respect that. But I do believe that the committee did the right thing in putting SMU in. Ultimately, the thing that I would suggest to any college football fan is to put yourself in SMU's shoes. Let me give you something not related to Alabama. A year ago on this day, the Monday after the selection committee released its top four, I went on a tirade about them leaving out Florida State. Remember that? Because you had a 13-0 undefeated conference champion that got left out. Sports is supposed to be a true meritocracy. We play games, we have a winner. That's the great thing about sports. It doesn't matter what you think or what I think or a bunch of blowhard goofballs in a hotel ballroom in suburban Dallas thinks. We play games, and the games should stand up. And that's true in every sport except the sport you and I love. Going back to the beginning of time, go back to the ancient Greeks, the original Olympians, wrestling naked. College football is I said it a million times, college football is the only sport in the history of mankind where you can win every game you play and not even have a chance to play for a championship because someone doesn't think you're good enough. It's stupid. It's counterintuitive. It is against everything that makes sports great. I think the Soviets in 1980 were a better hockey team than the ragtag collegiate U.S. team. They played a game, the U.S. won. I think the 2007 New England Patriots are a better football team than the 2007 Giants. They played in the Super Bowl. The Giants won. They get the trophy. Doesn't matter what you and I think. I think Alabama's probably a better team than Oklahoma this year. They played a game. Oklahoma beat the crap out of Alabama. Sorry, you played a game. The results have to matter. You don't get a mulligan when you lose. That's why you play games. To quote the great Herm Edwards, you play to win the game. When you lose, there are consequences. You know the old saying, but by the grace of God, there go I? If you're a college football fan, you have to look at SMU. You have to look at Florida State last year and think, what if that were me? Let me ask you, LSU fan. You go 11-1. You play in the conference championship game and lose, and the committee leaves you out. You good with that? Shoot. You know the answer. And now I know what you're going to say. Oh, Matt! They'd never leave out an 11-1 SEC championship game participant that lost. They did it a year ago. Georgia, the two-time defending national champion, was undefeated. 12-0. Go to the SEC championship game, lose to Alabama, out. Oh, but Matt, that was a 14 play. Oh, I got all your excuses. Fine. Let's say LSU loses the opener at Clemson next year. They're pretty good at losing openers. Then let's say LSU go 6-2 in the conference. They finished 9-3 overall. They're in the playoff. They're in the top 12 rankings going to the SEC championship game. They lose the SEC championship game. Should they be out? Is that maybe a more plausible scenario for you to digest? Because I could see that happening. By the way, that almost happened to LSU this year. If LSU didn't choke on their spit in Gainesville, they would have been playing in the SEC championship game. And that exact scenario I just laid out for you could have unfolded. Could have. It's why you got to stand up in situations like this and be counted. I don't know what would happen with SMU and Alabama. A lot of y'all think it would be a whitewashing. Let me tell you something. I've sat here and told you, Alabama ain't good. You see the crimson jerseys. You see the numbers on the helmet. They play Yay Alabama. The guy in the stupid elephant costume comes out. They're not good. I watched Vanderbilt control the ball for 42 minutes against Alabama and put up 40. I watched a crappy Oklahoma team run roughshod over. I saw a crappy Oklahoma team throw for 68 yards and beat Alabama by 3 scores. I saw Kalen DeBoer pee down his leg with stupidity at the end of the first half of that South Carolina game. You see Alabama, even if it's subconsciously, and think they're supposed to be great, that's not a great football team. They blew a 28-point home lead against Georgia. And a freshman bailed him out with one of the most miraculous catch and runs you'll ever see. Great play by him. What do I always say? Winning mass deficiencies. Alabama is not a great football team. They wear the jersey. They wear the uniform. They play in the stadium. They play the fights. All that stuff. They're not great. That's a 9-3 football team. That was a breath away from being 8-4 with Georgia. My God. They damn near lost at home to South Carolina. They could have been 7-5. Like, that's not a great team. The only reason that team was ranked as highly as they were is because of their brand. If you take the jerseys off and put Arizona's jerseys on them, that ain't no number 11 team. You're outside of your brain. So no, Bama didn't deserve to be in. And we can all take this back to the core of the argument. Listen, I don't love the structure of college football. I've called forever, play 10 regular season games, get rid of the garbage games nobody wants. I don't ever need to see LSU play Southeastern. Sorry, Paulie. I don't ever need to see LSU play Nichols. I don't ever need to see LSU play South Alabama or any other crappy football program to come into Tiger Stadium to get $1 million to take an ass whipping and go home. Nobody wants it. Nobody watches it. Nobody cares. It doesn't matter. The only reason those games exist is for a gate receipt. A gate receipt and extra TV revenue to sell to the networks. That's it. Not for competitive balance or anything. If you believe that, you're gullible because you've been sold a bill of goods. Those games didn't exist historically in college football. They existed as schedules expanded because they're revenue grabs. They're money grabs. It's why conference championship games exist. Money grabs. That's it. For 100 years, college football was perfectly fine in its regular season and crowning a conference champion without conference championship games. And then Roy Kramer came up with a great idea to make money. He did, and everybody followed suit. You don't need no damn conference championship game. Can you imagine having an NFC South championship game at the end of the regular season to determine who goes to the NFL playoffs? Stupid. No other sport in the world does it. It's dumb. Like conference tournaments in baseball and basketball. Stupid. Mindless. You play a 30-game regular season in college baseball. And you're going to tell me a stupid tournament in Hoover, Alabama is going to determine who gets an auto bid over a 30-game sample size? It's stupid. It's money grab. I hate the way college football is structured. I hate it. But if this is the structure you're going to implement and you're going to adhere to a Power 4, I didn't say Power 4. They said Power 4. Hey, my rules. I know the SEC and the Big Ten are light years better top to bottom than the ACC and the Big 12. They are. In talent, in recruiting, in resources, in pumping players into the NFL. Like, every single thing shows you that. But for the sake of history or uniformity or whatever, they adhere to this Power 4 notion. Okay, if you're going to adhere to that, then you have to reward a conference champion. Because if you want to go to a system where you just say, okay, well, who are the 12 best teams based on whatever criteria you want, then you're not going to have any representation from those leagues. And you may say so, and I would agree with you. I don't want Boise State anywhere near this playoff. Friggin' Boise State. You want to be pissed about something today? Be pissed about Boise State being the 3 seed. Be pissed about Boise State playing one Power 5 opponent in Oregon and then going through the rest of the schedule playing, what did that guy say, a 2A schedule from Alabama or something like that? Like, and they get the 3. You want to be pissed off about something? Be pissed off about that. They're stealing. They're stealing a spot in a playoff from a team that actually deserves it. But I didn't make the rules. They made the rules, and all agreed to it. And you know, if they stopped with auto bids for all conferences, then the SEC and the Big Ten would make up the entire field. And we may get there eventually. I think we will get there, where we have an invite-only college football. And it is a true representative sample, and it is a true play. We're making progress toward that, but today we ain't there. What we have is a system they set up. They're the ones that said Power 4. They're the ones that said top five highest ranked conference champions. I'm the one who yelled about that forever. Hell no. Don't do that. They set up the system. Don't set up the system, put the rules in place, then bitch about the result. So yes, SMU deserved to be in. They were 11-1. They were in the playoff in the penultimate rankings. They go and play a conference championship game, which is supposed to be a reward, while Alabama, Ole Miss, South Carolina, Miami sit on their ass, don't have to play. And they go play Clemson, have a dogfight, come back, beautiful fourth quarter, lose on a 56-yard walk-off bomb. What a moment for that kid from Clemson. And they're supposed to be penalized for playing that game? No. It's the system you set up, not me. I didn't set up this system. But if that's what it's going to be, and one team gets to sit their ass at home and not play, then the game played can only be a reward. It can't be a punishment. If SMU was in before that game, you're damn right they're in after it regardless. They could have lost 100-0. They should still be in. Because they could have said, we're not playing that game. We're already in. Tap out. We'll go home. We're not going to play. So yes, putting in SMU was the right thing to do. Because you play games on the field and the results have to matter. Hey, Alabama, you want to be in the playoff? Don't lose to Oklahoma, dorks. Hey, Lane Kiffin, you're bitching. I got an idea. Don't lose on your home field to sorry-ass Kentucky, who went 1-7 in the league. Their one conference win was at your house. Show up. Hey, South Carolina, you want a leg to stand on? Don't lose to Ole Miss and Alabama and then bitch about being behind them. They played a game. You lost to them. Over. Results on the field got to matter. That will always, 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 always be at the core of what I say and what I believe. I don't care what you think. You shouldn't care what I think. And I sure as hell don't care what a bunch of blowhard, self-important losers in a hotel ballroom in suburban Dallas think. Play games on the field. Let the results stand on their own. One day, the sport we all love will get there. We're getting closer. From a time where a friggin' president anointed Texas a national champion. Overweight freaking sports writers who cover one team voting in a poll to gift somebody a national championship. Alabama claiming championships with 5 lost football teams because they can. UCF claims a national championship. But then we got to 2, and then we got to 4, and now we're at 12. We're getting closer. We ain't there yet. We're not there yet, but we're getting closer. The results on the field have to matter. If they don't, then why are you playing football? And if you don't believe that, let your school be the one that gets screwed and then come talk. Hey, thanks so much for watching. Please leave your comments. I love to interact, and be sure to hit the red subscribe button below.